This is your pilot speaking. Please fasten your seatbelt. You may experience a little turbulence back there. We should be through it in just a few years. Thank you.
Voyager 1 and 2 have been out in space for 25 years since 1987, taking the picture of what it looks like in front as we're rotating through the galaxy. And they found this interstellar cloud, this photon belt, which goes up and down compared to our elliptical orbit. It's perpendicular to our orbit. Alcyon in the center, our solar system around the outside would intersect this donut at 6 o'clock and then again at 12 o'clock. And we're about to come up to 6 o'clock in the morning, brand new day. We're about to be waking up. How on earth did the Mayans know this? See, they had 2,000 years, which I'm going to say is an astrological age of 2160, 2150, or half a Mayan cycle. They said that in that time, Kinikahau, that's our sun, Kinikahau receives a spark from his older brother in the center and shines very brightly.
Until this monster, X10 class solar flare, erupted earthward facing, letting off a 3.3 and then an X 9.3, yet it topped the charts at X10.
In that time, Kinikahau, that's our sun, Kinikahau receives a spark from his older brother in the center and shines very brightly.
This is an Earth 2017 special report. Stay tuned.
Recently, 300,000 people marched in New York on climate change. In Washington, cities around the United States, huge marches about climate change. I just have one thing to say. Stop trying to stop climate change. You might as well go stand out on the beach and ask a tidal wave to come. The ocean doesn't care. Go yell at the stars and tell them to move. Stop trying to change climate change. Stop trying to stop global warming. This happens every time we go through the photon belt. Melts the ice shields, we do a little shifting, a little dance. Some will, some won't, so what? And here we are 10,000 years later, ready to embark on it again. People say, wait a minute, what's the photon belt? Well, most of us have heard of the Van Allen belt of radiation. But the photonic band, this belt, which as you see right here, this is off NASA's website, Earth is passing through an interstellar cloud. Not Voyager 1 and 2 found an interstellar cloud we may pass through. It's not we're about to pass through, going to. Earth is currently passing through an interstellar cloud of intense electromagnetic radiation. NASA scientist Alexei Dmitriev, when asked, how large is this thing? 760,000 billion miles wide. 760,000 billion miles across. Even at 11 million miles a day, when Alexei Dmitriev was asked how long is it going to take Earth and our solar system to traverse this, so I don't know, but if I had to guess, I'd say about 2,000 to 3,000 years. Cha-ching!
Stay tuned.
I'm beginning to feel like a goldfish.
You got him going, Doctor.
Well, doesn't all this spouting and erupting have some effect on the Earth?
Oh, yes, tremendous
Doctor.
effect. Roll 8. Well, for instance, when a large flare flashes up around a sunspot area, it immediately sends out a burst of powerful ultraviolet rays that hit the Earth in 8 minutes. But it also sprays streams of slower electrified fragments of atoms out into space as if from a hose. This solar spray of fine particles usually misses the Earth, but at times the Earth is in its path. Now, the Earth is a magnet with north and south magnetic poles and a magnetic field around it.
Greetings and welcome, Marc the Arcturian.
but you probably already knew that. Captain USS Arcturus. You probably already knew that one too. Apparently, I have good kung fu. Stay tuned.
Now, when you drag the top of the planet from the North Pole, the Barber Pole, north 405 miles towards Siberia, that means now everything on the other side, including Alaska, is now how many miles farther south? 405 miles, using this example, correct?
Correct.
Now, I took a lot of heat for that 21 seconds. You would have thought I just said the Earth is flat. And some of you may remember that from my film last year. 2015 is the new 2012. Here's a clip I found recently, and I have no idea who this guy is, but it does go to show the great mind thinks alike.
What is actually happening is the Earth has moved southeast. Now this is going to show you how Greenland, right here, saw the sun rise 2 days early, and first time ever in recorded history. I'm going to move it southeast as best I can. See? The Earth has slipped southeast, which makes the sun rise here in Greenland 2 days early because it's moved south.
Well, that should about clinch it. I mean, we can't both be wrong.
Now, what baffles scientists to this day is it's not only the world's longest calendar, it's also a map, a star chart, which precisely charts the motion of every celestial body in the galaxy for 5,125.36 years. Cha-ching! Right down to the precession of the equinoxes, an almost 26,000-year cycle, as Earth wobbles 23.5 degrees on her axis while she is in her elliptical orbit, almost 26,000 years. So the Mayans called this one galactic day of 25,627 years, as our sun, with us in tow, orbited Alcyon. Now, a 26,000-year day, you could divide that into 13,000 years of day, followed by 13,000 years of night, couldn't you? That would be all fine and dandy. Anyone want to guess which one we're coming out of right now? Which one humanity's coming out of right now? Waking or sleeping? Sleeping. Henceforth, the term waking up. Consciousness is waking up. Now, that would be fine, except for this white band in the middle. Now, the Mayans knew this as a time of no time. In this big giant clock, and for a little while, twice a cycle at 12 and noon, our solar system would go through this band, which would be 22,000 years of day, with 11,000 years of night in between. This photon belt, Professor Paul Otto Hess defined it as an energy ring of incredible size, 760,000 billion miles wide.
760,000 billion miles across, even at 11 million miles a day. When Alexei Dmitriev was asked how long is it going to take Earth and our solar system to traverse this, so I don't know, but if I had to guess, I'd say about 2,000 to 3,000 years. Cha-ching!
Stay tuned.
Stop trying to stop climate change. You might as well go stand out on the beach and ask a tidal wave to come. The ocean doesn't care. Go yell at the stars and tell them to move. Stop trying to change climate change. Stop trying to stop global warming. This happens every time we go through the photon belt. Melts the ice shields, we do a little... The former polar ice cap on the North Pole. There's no Santa pole, red and white pole in the ice. There's no reindeer. There's nothing marking the North Pole except a buoy in the water. The former polar ice cap on the North Pole. is now a lake, is now a lake, is now a lake. There's a buoy in the water, is now a lake, is now a lake, now a lake, now a lake, now a lake, now a lake.
Let's see. Aha! For the first time in history. Should say recorded history. In the pink at the top, also reported December was much warmer than usual with rainfall instead of snow, recorded for the first time in, however you say that, since records began. Now you're going to start to see that a lot if you haven't already. Unprecedented. Never before in recorded history. Broke all records.
Since 2015 is now the hottest year on record. Wait, 2014 was the hottest year on record. Wait, 2010, hottest year on record. I have the headline right here, 2010, hottest year on record. 5 years later, now this is the hottest year on record.
Every time you see something like that, I want you to have little alarm bells going off. Not like not like oh my god fear alarm bells. Another bell like it's true. It is happening.
In that time, Kinikahau, that's our sun, Kinikahau receives a spark from his older brother in the center and shines very brightly.
'97, 06, 2011. Oops, no more Columbia Glacier. Yes, you did.
Thank God that can't happen here.
Stay tuned.
Sharknado, but
I'm excited about this because I want to know if it's intelligent consciousness that is doing this. And as the Purdue scientists are saying, there is a new particle possibly responsible for this being born out of the sun. And that new particle will have new properties and cause abilities in humans and all living things that ingest it. So if there's a new particle being created, and that's what's responsible for this, these Purdue scientists are saying, it's going to change everything.
This changes everything. Actually, the change has already occurred and is occurring exponentially. This gives us now a verifiable new way to look at this. He says the rate of atomic decay is sped up 0.1%. Unheard of and inexplicable. See, as we're approaching the photon belt, we've been in the fringes of it for about 50 years. As we're about to hit it smack dab, it's exciting things. The rate of atomic decay, the Schumann resonance, new DNA. It's quite possible that it's awakening a sleeping DNA cell, changing our carbon-based life form into a crystalline life form. And it's exciting everything. It's supercharging. Remember, in this time, Kanikaha, our sun, receives a spark from his older brother in the center of the galaxy. Solar radiation is exciting not just us here on Earth, but the atmospheres of Jupiter, Saturn, Mars. They're storms. They're excited. And what you're going to notice, what we will notice here, is our atmosphere excited. Not necessarily the one you're out looking at, but your atmosphere that you carry with you. It's going to feel excited, revved up, agitated almost. Were you able to go faster than the rate of atomic decay, it would appear to be going slower. But for the rate of atomic decay to appear to be speeding up, it could be us that are slowing down in relation to it. Again, this is squeezing us out of the past, out of the future, into this moment of now, apparently where our thoughts manifest instantaneously. It's sometimes a scary thought, but we would learn how to control them a little bit better. Even scientifically, time is an illusion at best. You see, time is an invention, a creation of universe herself, to keep everything from appearing to happen all at once. Which it does. It did. Is. You know, I'm sure it's just a coincidence that everything that was foretold was going to happen is happening exactly when they said it would. I'm sure it's just an oversight.
What can I say, Marc the Arcturian? You got me.
The earliest recorded human civilization, the Sumerians, Samaritans, Egyptians, 3100 BC, or one Mayan cycle, 5,127 years ago. Earliest recorded human history. Is that because humans didn't exist before that? No. It's because every piece of recorded history we had before that was wiped out the last time this happened. Was wiped out the last time this happened.
This has been an Earth 2017 Special Report. I'm Marc the Arcturian. Doom and gloom is next over most of these stations.
I'd say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.